Today we're going to be visiting with Nevin Flores. Nevin is a lead counselor at our short-term residential treatment program. He's been with McKinley for 10 years, where he believes that he is living out his passion of helping children. Nevin enjoys sports and has been training for a Spartan race. I'm sure he's going to tell us about it during his interview. Nevin told me that his friends describe him as being the good guy. He sometimes is quiet, but he's very strong in his beliefs. Let's hear how Nevin applies the human principles to his work here at McKinley. Nevin, thank you so much for taking time for us today. As I have shared, we will be sharing stories of our employees with our audience, and you have been selected. So I've got a nice cup of coffee, and I'm just gonna use this time as if we are getting to know each other. So first, why don't we start off with tell our audience what brought you to McKinley and how long have you been with us?
Well, I've been at McKinley for 10 years, just this month actually. And kind of what brought me here was I've always had a passion for working with youth. Even when I was back in high school, I would volunteer with the YMCA with it was my church youth group. And we went up to a YMCA camp and we were camp counselors, and come to find out the youth were actually all foster youth. And I didn't know too much about that at the time. So I took it and just kind of ran with it, and I really enjoyed it. And I liked working with the kids, and I started to see some of the behaviors that I never knew I would know until now. But back then I could kind of see the connection. So it kind of started there. And then going into college, one of my football coaches, he worked here at McKinley years back, and he told me a little bit about it. He actually brought some of his kids to one of our football games, so I got to see some of the kids that used to be here at McKinley years ago. And I used to grow up in San Dimas. San Dimas was my childhood home, and I used to run the track at San Dimas High School, and I always knew McKinley Home for Boys was right across the street, but I just knew that they were kids, like a foster type kids, but I didn't know too much about it. And then I came to a point in my life where I needed to find something more permanent, because I was doing like an on-call substitute teaching type thing, and I needed something more permanent, stable. And I just figured I'd apply at McKinley, and all these little details, all these little small things kind of led me down this path.
That's amazing. And you are a lead treatment counselor at our short-term residential treatment program. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, tell our audience, what does a day look like in your life? Like a day at McKinley, or how do you start your regimen on a daily basis?
So I work in the AM. So that means I'm here in the morning time before the boys are awake. So when I come in, I meet with my team, which consists of other treatment counselors that work in the morning, both for Unit 2, which is Gregory and Campbell Cottage. I work with both of them. And then we also have campus supervisors. And we kind of meet, discuss the day. We talk about our plan for the day, transportation for school, for medical appointments, interviews for transitional housing, meetings with social workers, whatever appointment or activity the boys have for the day. We talk about it in the morning, and we prepare, schedule everything we need to get for vehicles, money, anything like that. So we talk about that and game plan for the day. And then we start going throughout our day, waking the boys up, getting them ready, make sure they're aware of everything that they need to do for the day. And we kind of help them through that. The supervision and the care of the boys, of course, is the number one thing. So even though we're taking care of business, taking care of their needs, we're still supervising them and caring for them throughout the day. We have to always monitor them, always make sure they're okay. And being a lead treatment counselor, I also, besides supervising the boys, I have to supervise several staff members as well. And so I have to go into the other cottage, into Campbell Cottage, and make sure things are okay with the kids, but then also make sure the staff are doing what they need to do, and whatever that they need, I can help facilitate their needs with whatever they require.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Would you be willing to tell us how has COVID affected both your work side and also you personally?
So definitely the work side has dramatically changed things here with the boys in the SCRTP. School, of course, has changed, gone from a full day of school, and we don't transport them, of course. So they're here in the cottage and they're doing their schoolwork. So we have to help them with their schoolwork, make sure that they're doing it so they can get whatever privileges they want for the day, for video games or stuff on campus that they want to do. So we just have to make sure they're staying on track with that and they don't fall behind in school. So when school starts again, they're not a grade behind or a semester behind. And then, of course, they can't leave campus except for medical appointments or special things like that. So no activities off grounds anymore. So we've had to be a little creative with our activities coordinators, MHRSs, and clinicians to make sure they're occupied on campus and still having fun and still feel somewhat normal. So we have to work with the boys, and we've always let them know, you guys have got a big campus. Most everybody else has a one backyard. So they can around the bit, explore down by the softball field. They've got all these fields on campus where they can explore. So kind of keeping them busy with that. But myself, I've definitely in my personal life been extremely affected by this. Of course, some of the similar things like everybody else with shopping and not being able to go out and see friends and fun stuff. But more on a personal note, I've about 2 years ago, I had some health issues. And when I went to the doctor and they told me I needed to cut back on certain things, so I started changing my diet. I started exercising and just been feeling a whole lot better since then. But then I got to the point where I needed something else in my life to kind of push for a goal. So I came up with the Spartan race, which is this marathon slash obstacle course thing. And it's something I've always thought about just because Spartan is a very interesting topic for me because it was my high school mascot. And just the philosophy of being a Spartan was always very important to me that I learned in high school. And that was supposed to happen in April. And then all of this COVID stuff started happening about February, March-ish time. And then we got the shutdown. So I've been preparing for this probably since November, December of last year. I specifically started doing specific trainings to prepare for it because it's a lot of climbing and lifting and then some running as well. I've had to adapt my workout routines dramatically with no gym. I've had to do what I can at home, run around in the community with a mask on. I've tried to find at an elementary school or just some bars in the community since parks are closed and doing some pull-ups and whatever workouts that I can do, but I'm running with my gloves. I put my gloves on because I don't want to touch anything and I have my mask on. So I'm being safe as much as I can. And I'm always by myself. I'm never going with anybody. So yes, the COVID is very, very difficult, but I'm still pushing myself to get everything done I need to.
Wow, that's amazing. That's so cool, and how inspiring that you have found something that has that you've remained steadfast, and that's very impressive. Tell us about what inspires you. I mean, you are definitely on the front lines, and you are an essential worker for us here at McKinley. But where is it that you draw that inspiration from to continue to give the way that you do?
Well, there's multiple inspirations that I pull from different people. Some are friends, acquaintances that I have on social media that I see them, they're first responders or nurses, and they're doing exactly what I do, but even more so. And I see them still having to deal with specifically patients with COVID, and they keep coming day by day. And that's real inspiring to me. And then just my being here at McKinley, my team, the fact that they're still coming, they haven't skipped a beat as far as showing up. Nobody's leaving early or doing all this extra stuff because they're worried and they're scared. They're still coming to work and they're still taking care of business. And I could still rely on them the same way I could before all this happened. But even more specifically, I'd probably say my mother. My mother is a very big inspiration for me because she has cancer and she's been fighting cancer for several years now. It's gone away and come back, and she's still going through treatments and chemo during all of this. And of course, hospitals are not the place you want to be if you don't have to, but she has to. So the fact that she has to go by herself, she can't have anybody go with her, and the fact that she has different groups of friends, cancer groups of friends that she's been with, and some of them have cancer as well, and some of them are doing a lot worse than she is. They're struggling a lot more. And of course, with social distancing, she's doing her best. She'll either visit them but not be too close, or she'll call and keep in contact with them. And the fact that she's still caring and comforting others, including myself, my sisters, and my family, even though she's very susceptible to everything that's going on, she still takes that time to help people when she can. Of course, she's not working, but she's helping when she can, despite her condition. And everybody, all of us that are healthy and might not even get it, are, we still are working as well. But what she's doing really is inspiring to me.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. That truly is inspiring. My last question for you is, during this time, you've had to really kind of become a little bit more innovative in our technology and all, and even a lot of these Zoom meetings. What has that looked like for you in your life through COVID? Did this stretch you? Did you have to, learn some new things? Walk me through that.
It's been very helpful. We've had to facilitate different video calls and chat meetings for the boys. The boys have to meet with their case managers, social workers. We have different CFTMs, the children family team meetings, that the boys have to be a part of, and we have to be there with them to supervise and also participate. And it's been, at this point, it's a daily routine.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, Nevin, you know what? On behalf of everyone here at McKinley and those that you serve, I just really want to thank you and commend you for the outstanding work that you continue to do and the way that you are reaching the youth that we serve. So I know that there's been a lot of media coverage of doctors and nurses, and they're being called, our new heroes, but I just want you to know you're our hero, and it just really means a lot to be able to highlight you and what you do for us. So on behalf of everyone, I just want to extend a big thank you to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Well, it's been an honor to spend time with you, Nevin. Thank you again, and I look forward to the day that we can be in the same room together and do a little high five or something. But until then, stay safe and stay healthy. And again, thank you for this time.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that something you have heard has triggered your heart, and maybe you would like to become part of McKinley's family. Please visit us at our website or call us at the number below. Or if you've ever considered becoming a foster parent, please reach out to us. We would love to start a dialogue with you. Thank you again.